power of story is universal. Jesus illustrated spiritual truth through the stories he told and the lives he transformed. My guest travels to Latin American countries to capture personal faith stories of people from all walks of life for both radio and television programs that are reaching millions of Hispanics around the globe. The sweet surprise is Canada's role in this wonderful ministry. I'm delighted to have here Pastor Ernesto Pinto, Director of the Spanish Ministry of Family Life Network in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Welcome. We're meeting for the first time.
It is a privilege for me to be here. I'm really happy to be with you this morning.
Such an important work, reaching so many people. I feel I'm a little late tuning in. So thank you for coming.
No, it's my pleasure to be here. It's only a privilege to serve the Lord all over the world, you know, and He calls me to do this work with my own people. I'm so happy for that.
Now, your family is very much a part of, well, your ministry. Your wife, Marina, is working counseling through mail correspondence.
Exactly. I'm so grateful for that she is involved with me in the ministry for the last 30 years or so. And my two kids, David, which is the oldest, and Daniel, both of them are also following the Lord, which is a real blessing to me. And David helping me with the ministry, and Daniel is a missionary with Youth for Christ. So we are involved in the ministry here in Canada. And that has been my prayer because I came here to serve the Hispanic people, the immigrant, but I knew that Daniel has an evangelistic heart. So I always pray that the Lord will use Daniel to reach Canada. So I'm so happy for that.
This is wonderful. Yeah. The reach of what you do, Pastor, is, let's talk first about Encounter. This is where it started, 15-minute radio program. You travel to Latin American countries to get these personal faith stories. What countries, for example?
El Salvador, Argentina, Chile, Spain, which is not Latin America, but in Europe. And there is about 120 million people who speak Spanish, and we are so blessed that we are in every country which speaks Spanish in the world.
Yeah, but countries we would never expect. Germany?
Germany,
Belgium?
Yeah.
Israel?
Yeah, there is, well, with the internet, there's radio, internet in all those countries, and it's amazing how the Hispanic people are moving all over the world. I strongly believe that this is the culture that God is using in this very moment to reach the world. Because we are white, we are, you know, mestizos, we are, you know, black, all colors in Latin America, and we are all over the world, basically. And yeah, you're right, we are in Israel, in Japan, with radio programs, you know. And the amazing thing is that we start this ministry here. I actually had the opportunity to start in 1985 in Chicago with Radio Moody, with a small program there, you know. That's where the Lord placed that in my heart. And then the Lord calls me to do something here in Winnipeg. I'm from that very cold city, you know, the Lord has been
very cold city, yes.
And the Lord has been expanding the ministry from there, and we are right now in every country we speak Spanish, which is a wonderful thing.
Now, I understand you're becoming a household name in Cuba. CDs of these interviews playing on the buses, in jails, in house churches.
Well, when I started this ministry, you know, my intention was to reach the non-believers, but with the counseling element in the interviews, you know, the believers are getting benefit of the program. So, and the Lord is using this program in ways that I never imagined, you know. Like in Cuba, I never imagined that the Lord will use these CDs, you know, in the buses, in home churches, but they are using it also in the universities to teach the kids, you know, how to do programming or media, you know, this type of uses that I never thought that the Lord will use.
I'm surprised you have the freedom to do this. There's no opposition to this open exposure of the gospel.
In Cuba, you mean? Or,
in Cuba.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, in any of the countries, but especially in...
Well, they cannot stop the people doing it in their homes, you know, and that's how our ministry, because they don't allow you to have a radio program or a TV program in Cuba, but they cannot stop that the people will start copying our CDs and sending to the next home, you know. So.
But the buses,
yeah,
these are public transit.
Yes, but there is, you know, the driver just put it there, and
Nobody gives them a hard time.
No.
Wow. And if that's not enough, let me just show you a picture here. This is a promotion for the program, the name of which means Encounter. And this is the TV program, 180 Degrees. That's what God does with a life.
Yes.
And those are the stories, again, that you're telling.
Well, that's just exactly, you know, when I start with this vision, I knew that the Lord will do it, and I didn't know how at that time, but the idea came, you know, that if I can share a story and also show the transform lives, that's what's mean encounter, right? Because we normally have three encounters. We have the encounter with our reality, you know, who you are, if you are accepted or not by your parents or your, you know, friends, or you are trapped in alcoholism or drugs or whatever. And the second one is, who are you? You know, that's the second encounter, you know, if you accept yourself, you know, what's that? And the third encounter is with God that never rejects you, and He's always with His open arms to you, and that's what I came with, that idea of encounter. And then 180 degrees is exactly what I want for the people, just to go around and change their life to Jesus Christ.
175 stations in Latin America.
And we just started with this program.
Interviews.
Yeah, we just started, and the Lord has just opened the doors. And the amazing thing is that we are not paying a cent to anyone, neither in radio or TV, to air these programs.
You're kidding.
No, no, we are doing it in such a way that they want to do it, and I believe it's 22% of radio stations that are secular are radio station airing our program. They just want it for, you know, capture audience.
That is what the Bible calls a wide, open, effective door.
It
Just
is
amazing.
It is wonderful.
So how do you cover the cost of producing?
Well, then we
all
have
these programs?
supporters here in Canada. I'm living here for a few years in Winnipeg, and there's churches, and I associated with a ministry called Family Life Network, and so we are a ministry who are actually expanding the gospel all over the world. We have 7 different languages. So there's people who, you know, if you go to our webpage, flm.ca, you can see what we are doing there, and that's why we are being supported.
FLN.ca, so that's Family Life Network.
That's correct.
Where you direct the Hispanic
Exactly.
ministry.